Thanks for checking out this episode of Real Fights Physique Edition.
That's right, helping the next generation of movie makers and actors learn, fight,
and film.
Yes. On today's episode, we will be focusing on
3 easy steps for you actors out there to lose weight.
To lose the weight. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Clark.
I'm Josh.
Yes, and for those of you that are new to this channel, we focus on tips, tricks, and tutorials to help you understand what goes on in front as well as behind the camera. Now, as we already said, in this specific physique edition, we're going to be focusing on weight. There's a lot of times when it comes to actors that we need to gain weight.
Yes, absolutely.
We need to lose weight. We need to get ripped, like me, not like Josh. Okay, more like Josh, less like me.
Yeah.
But Mr. Josh, he's going to break it down for us to 3 simple steps. But before you do that, please like, subscribe, hit that bell so you don't miss any other episodes. And then, of course, everything that goes on how we make our videos and other product reviews, things like that, is in the description below. All right, are you ready? Let's get into the video. Step number 1, that's nutrition. Give us a quick breakdown on what nutrition is. That's like me shoveling marshmallows and Oreos in my mouth, right? That's perfect nutrition.
That is not perfect nutrition. Absolutely not. By nutrition, what I'm referring to here is perfect balance of foods. I'm talking a perfect balance of carbohydrates, a perfect balance of your protein, and a perfect balance of your fat as well. All of which are very, very essential for the human body.
Now, most of us understand proteins, different types of meats or vegetable proteins for our vegans out there. We can understand minerals and vegetables, the green stuff, spinach, be like Popeye and broccoli and all that.
Yeah.
But carbohydrates, that's always a questionable thing, because you got the good ones and you got the non-good ones, but then you got people for their blood type. What's the kind of carbohydrates in a quick, easy manner that we need to look out for?
The carbohydrates I'd suggest looking out for are those that are more processed, so they're sugary, such as certain cereals, maybe Pop-Tarts, cookies, whatever is simple and easy to eat. Basically, those are the kinds that you really want to avoid.
So packaged as well as high in sugar.
Correct.
You want to stay away from that. How about pastas?
Pastas, that depends on the pasta. If it's whole wheat preferably, then that's a little more on the complex side. But if it's simple and white per se, then that's a little more on the simple side.
On the negative side then.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what are good examples of good carbohydrates? What should I have? Because a big myth out there is that we should have high proteins, good sources of fats, and carbohydrates are really bad. But we need carbohydrates for that actual muscle development, right?
Absolutely.
As well as energy.
Yes.
It's good to have it.
It is very good to have it.
The right ones.
The right ones.
The
yes.
correct ones.
Correct.
What's the correct ones, Mr. Josh?
Really, really quick and easy. Correct ones would include oatmeal, sweet potatoes. That would also include vegetables. That would also include whole grains, whole wheats. Whatever pertains to that category, those are all considered complex carbohydrates.
Okay. And of course, always in moderation, guys. Always in moderation. So I know you're watching the video here and we're giving you these tips and tricks onto your weight loss. However, it is very important that you seek a specific nutritionist as well as a personal trainer that knows you specifically, because the information we're giving, because you're actually a certified trainer, and it's very important that you go with your clients specifically to make out detailed for an individual, right?
Yes,
just
absolutely.
an overall blueprint that doesn't work for everybody, does it?
It does not work for everybody. Everybody's different. So what works for me might not work for you.
Perfect. So keep that in mind. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Josh. If you reducing your calories will actually cause your body to have a negative effect on actually losing weight, because it's going to slow down your metabolism and you're not going to be able to burn the fat that you want to. It's going to take actually longer for you to see those results, as well as you're going to be calorie deficient, which means you're also nutrient deficient, and that can actually make you sick in the long run. So is there like a sweet spot? Let's say I want to drop about 5 to 10 pounds, or maybe I want to have really big goals to drop 50 pounds. As an average, should I be, if I normally eat a 2,000 or even a 3,000 calorie diet, what restriction should I have to actually have a good healthy weight loss? Is there like a sweet number that I should be looking for on minimizing my calories?
I'd say a sweet number in minimizing calories would be somewhere between 200 to about 500 calories from what you're normally eating.
Okay.
However, again, you don't want to drop too much because that could be a little bit dangerous on the weight loss side. But I'd say roughly 200 to about 500 calories.
Perfect. So recap to move on to step number 2. 1, we have to have a good balanced nutrition, a good healthy source of complex carbohydrates, clean proteins, as well as good minerals, vitamins coming from our vegetables. But also vegetables are kind of like a 2-for-1 because that also counts as good complex carbohydrates, right?
Right.
And then depending on the size of my weight loss goal, small goals I can cut to 200, but if I have bigger goals or I need a faster crunch time to lose weight, and I have a smaller time to do so, I can bump it up to 500.
Right.
Right? But too many calories and not eating doesn't solve the problem. It causes some serious health issues.
It can.
All right, awesome. So that is number 1.
So step number 2, that's going to be your workouts. You want to focus on workouts that are going to increase your cardiovascular system, that are going to increase fat loss as well. So you really want to be able to engage the body rather than just stick with, just doing one thing. So workouts that pertain to, say, high intensity, that could be jump roping, running, that could be boot camp, CrossFit, martial arts, anything that includes high movement.
Oh, like HIIT training.
Correct.
High intensity. What is it? High intensity interval training. Is that what it is?
Yep, that's exactly
something
what it
like
is.
that. Okay, HIIT training. Louis, just make sure write the words underneath or something like that. We'll get you because I'm messing that up. But yeah, HIIT training. I enjoy HIIT training.
Yes, you do.
How does HIIT training? How does that actually work? Why is that better? Why is HIIT training better than me getting onto the treadmill or just hitting the pavement out there and running for an hour straight? Why does that help me in my weight loss and getting me to my quick, healthy goal?
HIIT training helps because it's always going to be different. You don't want to stay stuck doing the same thing, especially when it involves your cardiovascular system. For example, if you are running, say, 2 miles, you start today, you're going to feel the effects of that. But then after, say, 2-3 weeks, you're going to feel like you can do it and do it over and over. So
you build a tolerance to it.
Exactly. You're going to build a tolerance to do that. So you want to keep it fresh. So if you do build that tolerance after 2-3 weeks or a month, you want to start challenging yourself just a little more. So push for 3 miles, push for 4 miles, push for 5 or 6. And then when you tolerate that amount of distance when you're running or doing anything, you can challenge yourself in the middle of the run. You can stop in the middle, go for burpees, anything that's different. You don't want your body to plateau as you're increasing your cardiovascular.
All right, so that basically means I can go, let's say I go and sprint, or if I'm inside, if I'm training at home, or if I'm an actor and I'm traveling to a different location and they give me room and board at a apartment or a hotel, right? And they don't have a really good gym, so I'm having to train at home. Could I do, let's say, 20 to 30 seconds very fast jumping jacks and then drop down and do 10 push-ups as fast as I can, and then maybe do jump squats to just really leave it, and then I rest.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So I got to get my heart rate up, right? Because you said keep it intense, keep it sporadic, using different muscle groups, and then how long should I rest before I take it up a notch again?
When it comes to high intensity and fat loss, you really don't want to take too much time to rest. So at least 30 seconds, 45 seconds ideally. Maybe less, depending on your tolerance for it.
Okay, so if you have good cardiovasculars, you're good with your cardio, your heart rate's good, then you can jump right into it after 30 seconds to a minute.
Absolutely.
But if you really push it out and you really dug in, maybe a minute, just let your heart rate slow down a little bit, or?
Yeah, you don't want to start too drastic with the whole idea. If you're not up to par with resting, say 20 seconds and then jumping into it, give yourself a little more time because you want to build that tolerance up. The heart
Catch your breath.
Yeah, catch your breath. The heart is like a muscle as well. You want to build it up slowly over time as well. But you'll see, they will start to get
that makes sense. I never actually even thought about that because your heart literally is a muscle, and as you're doing the workout, it's pumping, it's contracting, just like you're doing your biceps or chest press or leg curls. You're contracting that muscle.
Which is why when you first start running long distances, you feel tired when you first start doing it.
Because that muscle is fatigued.
Yeah.
Right. That I actually honestly I never even paid attention to that. Good job, Josh. Okay.
Absolutely.
So HIIT training. We should probably do another video actually describing that in full application, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Stay tuned.
All right. Well, that's number 2. Step number 3, that is recovery.
Recovery.
What's recovery about, Mr. Josh?
Recovery is all about your rest.
Resting.
Time.
I like taking naps.
Yes. Who doesn't?
But jokes aside, that is important. If you have a really good workout, and even as we talked about in section 2, that if you do HIIT training, you can still do weightlifting HIIT training, right? You can still put that high intensity workout with lifting weights, not just cardio, not just body weight exercises. But taking a nap is like legit a very good recommendation after a good workout, right?
It's always recommended, especially after very, very high intense workouts, whether that's weight gaining, bodybuilding, high intensity, losing fat loss. You always want to make sure you're getting rest in between as well.
Now, why is that? Why? Because from you said this several times to me personally, that your recovery is the number one method for your weight loss as well as your muscle gain. Why is it important that you have rest time? What does that actually do for your body?
The time that you're resting, that's actually when the body is truly building itself up. Because as we work out and as we put our body through stress, literally that's exactly what you're doing. You're putting your body through a lot of major stress while you're working out. So, in going back to the proper nutrition, you want to make sure you recover with your meals after your workouts. But in between the days that you're working out, you want to make sure that you are properly sleeping, properly eating correctly as well, going back to nutrition. But you want to make sure that there is rest involved in between that. Picture it like a smartphone. The smartphone you use it throughout the day, then it dies, but you then put it to charge. You only leave it charging for 5 minutes, and it only charges 2%. If you're charging and you keep taking that charger out and it's only 2%, it's gonna keep dying, and then you end up overusing yourself.
Oh, that's a good analogy, because you don't actually have time for it to fully recover to be completely useful.
Exactly. So
Right.
The body works in the same manner. The more you rest, the more you recharge your system, you recharge everything. That's going to be opportune for your body to function and perform your workouts and perform anything else in life.
Oh, that makes sense. That's pretty good. So if you rest, just like you said, you're recharging your body and you're allowing the body to actually rebuild, and then of course still continue the fat burn, right?
Absolutely.
And I guess on how it all adds up together, if you have the proper nutrition, that's the tools, the building blocks for when you work out, you break down the muscle, you start burning excess fat, and now because you've done that, your body has the tools necessary to rebuild the body that you kind of tore down.
Exactly.
Right? So without step 1, step 2 isn't as efficient, and without step 1 and step 2, your recovery isn't going to work, and you're definitely not going to get the results you want. Does that make sense?
It makes absolute sense, yeah. They each affect each other. Without step 1, nutrition, your step 2, your performance in your workouts, that's going to be very, very hindered. And then without step 2 or 1, you're going to have very, very negative effects for step 3 as well. Step 3 does not go without step 1, and they each go. So
it's not like we're saying 3 easy steps: step 1, step 2, step 3, but it's all interchangeable. It's not really dependent on 1, 2, 3. They all are working together, and without one, the whole thing crumbles.
Exactly.
Right? All right, cool. That's awesome advice. All right, guys, thank you so much for checking out this episode of Real Fights. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell, descriptions, and everything in the descriptions below. I can never get that right. Keep it. Don't cut that. I can. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching this episode of Real Fights. As always, like, subscribe, hit that bell, and details of our episode in the descriptions below. Any questions, if you guys have any specific questions on that, please feel free to comment, and we'll love to answer those questions specifically. And as well as a good question, what do you do for your nutrition? What do you do for your workout? What type of HIIT training do you enjoy? And how long does it take you to recover? Some people maybe 5-6 hours, a good night's rest. Some people need 8. Tell us about it. Let us get the chance to get to know you. All right, see you next time.